Auburn's success may depend on the defensive line.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Hello and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly. How we doing, Josh?
I'm doing good, man. I want my family back. They're gone for a month, and it's getting lonely in this place, dude. I like the first couple days, and then afterwards, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for them to be back.
Yeah, it's kind of pathetic how us men get whenever the whole family is away. We enjoy it for a minute, and then kind of drives us crazy when they're not here. But Josh, before we jump into things in today's episode, remind everybody we want you to use our affiliate link below. Go to fanatics.com for all your new Auburn gear. It helps us out quite a bit, and so thank you very much for that. Josh, jumping right into this episode, though, we are talking about Auburn's defensive line. Post-spring, we really didn't lose anybody. We gained a couple of transfers, most notably the defensive tackle out of Florida. I can never remember that university's name. But honestly, it's not a very deep position. And, any playing time that those players had is going to be extremely valuable. I mean, outside of Keldrick Falk and Malik Blockton, we really didn't have very many people playing last year.
It's true, and I don't think the coaches are going to have the luxury of being able to redshirt any of the new guys either. We're going to need all hands on deck with the defensive line, because if one of them goes down, the other one has to step up, because after the two deep, there really isn't anyone to cover.
Yeah, no, there really isn't, and we have a lot of talented freshmen, but the question is like, can they make as big of an impact as Malik Blockton did last year? I think if with the current status of our defensive ends and the rest of our defensive line, we need some of those freshmen to step up and have as big of an impact as Malik Blockton did last year, because we don't have the depth, like you were saying. We had a lot of really good recruits come in. I mean, Malik Autry along the defensive line was your second highest rated recruit behind Deuce Knight, and then Jarrett Smith was right behind him. And so we have two really good defensive linemen, as well as, Antonio Coleman, who is Mr. Flipmas himself, flipping back and forth between Auburn, Alabama.
He's here, though. He's here.
I still think he's trying to figure out where he's going to attend classes. So it's just hard. It's hard to see where we stand along the defensive line, and there's more questions than answers. We have Keldrick Falk. We know that. Malik Blockton is even still a question, and so is Amaris Williams. You're trying to figure out, okay, are they going to take that next step? Is Amaris Williams going to take that next step? We need him to. And is Malik Blockton going to become this all-star that we need him to? So I think there's a lot of questions that we have heading into the season, and honestly, the only way we're going to get the answers is if we really don't even have many injuries. If we start having injuries along the defensive line, we're in a lot of trouble.
And we know defensive line is one of the most injury-prone positions in the game. So, I mean, our strength and conditioning coach has got to be on top of them and making sure everyone's stretching, everyone's hydrating, everyone's doing what they need to do. Because I cannot stress this enough. If one person goes down, the next guy up is the only guy up. And so it's just – I don't think anyone is going to be sitting out any of the games. I think every single one of the defensive linemen is going to get 5+ snaps a game at the very, very least. But we're definitely going to need all the guys that have been solidified on the roster for the past couple of years to step up and do their thing, namely Keldrick Falk, Zykevious Walker, and Malik Blockton. Those guys are going to have to take the leadership role. We all know Keldrick Falk is the leader of that defensive line. We all know what kind of inspiration he can be to his teammates. But man, it's just and that's the one position I'm nervous about this year is defensive line. Yeah.
So it begs the question, because like you said, I think we are going to be seeing a lot of the freshmen. We have to. Is there going to be a surprise along the line in your eyes? Do you think someone because last year we all thought really highly of Malik Blockton and thought he could contribute, but he sure as shit surprised me. I'll just be honest, man.
Yeah, no, I did not
coming.
expect him to be that dominant on the field when he was on the field. He looked like he could not be guarded. It was shades of Derek Brown. Like, I'll be straight up with you.
Dude,
Malik
that's
Blockton had the
lofty.
quick first step. He had the quick first step. He's very strong, and he moves very quickly for a 300-pound, 6'3" man. He really does. I really want to see Quintrell Jamison-Travis have an up year. I want to see him be able to be that next guy up behind Zykevious Walker, because we all know Zykevious Walker is going to be the starter at the beginning of the season. But in terms of surprises, I really don't know. I really don't know. I mean, Amaris Williams was starting to come on later in the season.
He had his moments for sure.
He really did. And I think he could be a very, very, very good complement for Keldrick Falk.
The question is that a surprise? I think every Auburn fan that follows the roster is probably expecting Amaris Williams to make that next step, especially with the fact that we obviously paid him more heading into the season to keep him from jumping ship in the transfer portal. It was a big get to keep him, and we definitely needed him. If we had lost him, we'd be in really dire situation. Yeah. But I don't think him taking that next step is a surprise. For me, a surprise is a player like Jared Smith, who is all of 6'6", 245 pounds. I mean, this kid is massive.
Very long arms. Very long arms.
I think he can be a big difference maker along this line and could be that surprise Malik Blockton type player that you're just like, yeah, I think he has potential in the future. But right now, I think before the end of the season, he's going to be the person that we are all just like, thank God that this dude stepped up, because we would have been in a lot of trouble if he hadn't.
Yes. I really do. It's really hard to come up with a surprise because we've seen everyone on the roster except for the true freshmen. There's 3 of them, 3 true freshmen. So yeah. Jared Smith would be the guy I would choose to be the surprise. I really think he could be the what was his name? The Pierce from Tennessee, James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee of last year. I really think he could have that sort of impact on Auburn's roster, either middle of this year or start of next year. I could really see him being that type of edge rusher. So he would be my pick to be surprise player.
Okay, so I think I just surprised myself because I'm looking at the roster, kind of getting eyes on it, and I already know that Malik Autry was the second highest rated player. I think I forgot how big this son of a gun was. Holy shit. 6'5", 325 pounds. This dude was a 5-star on a couple of recruiting services, and his national ranking, he was the 45th player in the country, according to.
Why do you think everyone wants him?
Yeah, so I may be changing my answer. Maybe not Jared Smith. Maybe it is going to be Malik Autry, because I think, like you said, you said we already know what the others are going to give us along the defensive line. Behind Amaris Williams, you're going to have your second string, and who knows? It's a lot of freshmen at the defensive end position. However, along the defensive line, your defensive tackle, we got a couple of seniors, we got a couple of juniors, and then we have the freshmen. And Malik Autry is far and away the jewel of that defensive class. And the fact that this dude is he's massive already. So I think I'm changing my answer for all the reasons I gave Jared Smith as a surprise. Malik Autry just surprised me with his measurables. That's, I don't know, that's going to be awesome. And if he can step up and take and be this year's Malik Blockton, a lot of teams are going to be in a lot of trouble.
You know, and there's a reason why I didn't choose Autry as my surprise, is because he's going to be playing the defensive tackle spot. He's going to be the first guy off the bench when it comes to playing defensive tackle. There's no doubt in my mind about that because of his size and his raw athleticism. The guy is the guy. Have you ever watched his tape?
I have, and
I remember
insane. Watching it last year.
It's very impressive. And so, like I said, like he's going to see the field no matter what. Jared Smith is going to be one of those guys that's going to get at least 5 to 7 snaps per game, and I feel like he's going to make the most of it every time he's on the field. Just like DeMarcus Riddick made every use of his snaps last year. That's what Jared Smith's going to do this year.
Okay. All right. Which is fair. That's fair. So you mentioned earlier about needing someone to step up and to be a leader. And so that's my next question. Other than Keldrick Falk, because we know that he is a leader, he was brought to SEC Media Days last year as a sophomore, and I'm sure he'll be brought this year as well. So outside of Keldrick Falk, is there going to be a leader along that defensive line? And who do you think it can be other than Falk?
Honestly, I don't really think there really is a need for another leader on the defensive line. I mean, even if Keldrick Falk goes down, we all know he's going to be the guy on the sidelines, keeping everybody hyped up and focused. If anyone needed to be a leader on the defensive line, I go straight to Zykevious Walker. He's the senior on the defensive line. He's a senior starter on the defensive line. And if the team needs him, I feel like he could step up and be that vocal guy. He's like, do as I do and we'll be okay. He's a big guy. He's very athletic. He's very strong. And I just like, again, I don't think there's going to be a need for another defensive line leader. But if I had to choose, it would be Zykevious Walker.
Yeah, I'm of the thought that you can't have enough true good leaders on a team. And so I'm not part of the camp of thinking one leader in Falk is as good as we need, even though he is a great leader. I think I'm going to go a different direction, and I think Malik Blockton needs to be that leader. He needs to show these young guys he knows what it takes to see the field as a freshman and to make an impact as a freshman. And I think outside of Falk, he has that ability to really impact how these true freshmen view the game and view getting on the field. And so I think he needs to be a leader through example, not necessarily a vocal leader or whatnot, because I do think that Keldrick Falk is a great leader in the vocalization of, the team message. But Malik Blockton can really show these guys, and if they are willing to pay attention to what he does and what he did to see the field early, often, and contribute, I think he is the perfect example, because we need those young defensive linemen to step up this year. We've talked about it the entire episode. We don't have much depth, and so we need a huge impact from these guys.
I agree. And, actually, I'm going to change my answer and go off the beaten path, because everyone thinks that you need a player to be a leader for that position group. I'm not saying Zykevious Walker can't be a good leader, but I would like to say that I think Vontrell King-Williams, the defensive tackle coach, he's a young guy. He resonates with his players. He can relate to them, and he's a high energy guy. And everyone knows that, like, again, Keldrick Falk is relied upon when it comes to that leadership role. Vontrell King-Williams can reproduce that if something happens to Keldrick Falk. And I think Vontrell King-Williams is the perfect guy to do that. He's their position coach. He's the guy that wants the best for them. He's the guy that wants them to succeed no matter what. So I'm changing my answer to VKW for sure.
Okay. All right. Hey, that's off the beaten path, but I'm okay with it, because, like you said, he is young enough. He resonates with these players more so than we've seen in the years past. So I can't argue with that. Now, overall, we have high hopes from this defensive line room, but overall, what should we expect from our D line? Like, where are you at? Are you worst case scenario? Are you best case scenario? Or are you somewhere along the middle?
I'm somewhere along the middle. I expect what we saw last year, because, like you said, we didn't really lose a whole lot. We were very good against the rush. I expect them to improve on that. I would like to see some more pass rush and more quarterback pressure than we saw last year, even though when we got it in bulk. They went to Costco and got it in bulk. So I would like to say that it's going to be probably more or less the same as we saw last year for defensive line production.
Okay. All right. I am this whole series. I've been feeling it. I've been booging a little bit for a majority of our positions. With this one, I'm worried. I just, as an Auburn fan that has seen so many ups and downs, a little bit more than you, but I envision the worst, man. In a year where I feel like we have a chance to actually do something on offense, it feels like the defense is going to take a step back. And I think the reason for that is going to be this defensive line. Not because they're not going to produce, but I just, man, if Keldrick Faulk goes down early in the season, I don't think we have anybody that can replicate what he's going to do. And he is going to have a big impact on everybody else because you have to focus on him so much. We haven't talked about Keldrick Faulk that much because everything that we're talking about is like, what can we expect? What we know what he's about. Exactly. And he does all the little things, and he is somebody you have to scheme around. And if he goes down, it's going to be tough sledding for this whole class, unless Amaris Williams just takes a massive step. So I am a little worried. I am cautiously optimistic in the sense that I think that, we can have a little bit of the same production last year. I think Keldrick Faulk is going to take that next step. I think he has shown us nothing but the ability to improve year over year. And so I think we will see it. But if he goes down, and for some reason, I got a feeling in my gut that something is going to happen along this defensive line that's going to be detrimental to this team. And so I personally am a little doom and gloom in that sense.
Yeah, definitely. Dang. I like to choose to not be of that mindset that something bad is going to happen. But cautiously optimistic is a good choice of words. You want to bug, but you're like, okay, let's take a step back for a little bit. Yeah. So I understand it, but I like to. Nothing's really happened to Keldrick Faulk in his 3 years at Auburn. I don't really see anything happening. It looks like he's added some good weight, some muscle mass. So if anything, he's more sturdy than he ever has been.
I hope that is the case. And I hope that we just see nothing but good things from all the young players as well as all the older players as well. Josh, just want to remind everybody again, use our affiliate link below. Go to fanatics.com, click on the link. It helps us out a little bit and provides us with some extra compensation, if you will. And all in all, though, I still feel like this can be a great year for us, and I'm still going to overall bug. War Eagle, man.
War damn Eagle.
There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.